Welcome to Game 12 of the 51st Annual Bloomfield Christmas Tournament. This game will match the 8th-seeded Richland Rebels against the East Carter Redbirds. Richland lost last night in the first round, a tough loss, 53-50 to Portageville. East Carter, as the 16th seed, played first seed Hayti Indians and were defeated 85-45. My name's Terry McVeigh. Sitting next to me is Darren Todd. Darren, what do you think we're going to look for in today's game?
Well, Terry, first of all, I'd like to tell you it's good to be here. I hope I can do a good job as your partner, Mr. Turlington. What I think we're going to have here today is probably a pretty exciting game between two teams that suffered tough losses yesterday. East Carter, of course, facing the cat-like quickness of Hayti against Richland, facing, of course, a Jim Bidwell coach team that's always tough. So I think this today will be a question of can these teams bounce back and get back into the winning ways and continue on with their success here in the tournament.
Well, Richland started off the year with a pretty high note. They beat Portageville in an overtime. And like I said, they came in as the 8th seed. I would think they would certainly be the favorite. East Carter's had some problems with getting players out. Their program is obviously down this year. I'm sure it will come up. Richmond is coached by Casey Knight, assisted by Michael Glisson. East Carter is coached by Preston Hoagland and assisted by Charles Sherwanka.
Terry, one thing about Casey Knight I think the viewer should know is that he was a freshman coach over at New Madrid under Linus McFerrin, and I think Mr. McFerrin obviously had some success in his tenure in coaching, and I think Casey's trying to instill that toughness in his Richland squad, and I think it's paid off, and you can see some dividends being paid off.
Well, last night it was one of those good matchup games against Portageville. It would be very kind to say that it was an artistic success, because it was not a very artistic game, but it was just a very hard-fought game. Neither team could seem to buy a bucket. Portageville came out winning 50 by 3 points, and I think as we talked before the game, in that game, a 3-point lead was almost like 10 trips up and down the court, because neither team took care of the ball very well, and both teams play good defense. Richland plays very good defense, and I expect them to advance in this game. If whoever does win this game will play at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon against the surprising Van Buren Bulldogs, who this morning in the 9:30 game beat Dexter 68-56. I think everyone thinks that's an upset, with Dexter getting upset yesterday by Puxico and then turn around and playing the eye opener this morning and losing to Van Buren. Dexter going 2-0 in this tournament is, I would venture to say, has never happened before.
You know, one thing about the Van Buren Ball Club is a few years ago they came up here with a guy by the name of Anthony Rodebush and suffered a couple of tough losses and went on to win a state 1A title. That shows how tough this tournament can be.
This tournament is always tough from top of the But now in prior years, there's usually one or two teams you can look at and say those teams are going to be in the finals, and one of those teams is going to win. This year, I think it's wide open. There's probably, going into the tournament, I would say you could say there's going to be 10 or 12 teams possibly win the tournament. Now, obviously, that's down to 8, and I would think realistically there's probably about 6 teams going to win it. But this is going to be wide open for the rest of the way.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that, Mr. McVeigh.
We'll be announcing the starting lineups here in a minute. Mikey Latham, a 5'11" sophomore. He's their point guard and a three-point shooter. Langdon Miller, a 6'2" senior. Drew Thornton scored 21 last night against Portageville, played an excellent game, a 6'1" sophomore. Jeremy McGarity is starting today. He played some last night, but was not a starter. Mac Thornton, a 5'10" sophomore, is also starting. For East Carter, Tyler Feller, number 20. Dustin Frazier. Feller and Frazier are pretty aggressive for small point guards. They're pretty aggressive players and will go to the hole. Derek Miller, number 24. Zach Webb is getting the start, as is Tracy Green. This is the fourth game of the day. We've already given you the Van Buren over Dexter score. The other games was Twin Rivers over East Prairie 71-62 in a game that was Twin Rivers just seemed to want a little bit more than East Prairie. And then Kennett in a complete blowout beat Greenville 85-35. It's kind of tough when you get turboed in the consolation bracket, but Kennett won by 50. That's the most lopsided game in the tournament so far.
Terry, a couple things to watch on today's game is my understanding that Landon Miller, number 20, who's Richland's one of their leading scorers, turned his ankle last night against Portageville, and that he might be a little gimpy. And also, last year, number 22, Drew Thornton, was an all-tournament performer as a freshman.
And he scored 22 last night. He had a really very good game last night. And he controls the tip. Mac Thornton to the free throw line and just puts up the easy jumper.
Nice looking shot right there.
Richland's pressure, zone press, ought to give East Carter some problems. It does, but they get it underneath and don't convert. Richland steals the ball, and they're going to run with it. And Mac Thornton scored first 4 points. Latham with the steal and one. He scores, he'll go to the line.
It doesn't appear that Richland's had much of a hangover from last night's tough loss so far.
I don't think so. I think they came out ready to play. Already substitution in number 22, who's not on the program.
That's always makes it tough for us up here, doesn't it?
We'll just call him Double Deuce. Latham makes the free throw, makes it a 7-0 early run. That foul was on Feller, his first, team first. Frazier gets the ball down, breaks the press, gets the ball down, and the ball's out on Richland.
Looks like we have 3 fine officials tonight, Merlin Johnson, Mark Mars, and Lee Jones.
Very experienced crew, as usually we did in this tournament. You don't find very many tournaments that are going to be run better than this tournament.
I agree with that.
They get top-notch officials, and they run it efficiently, and everybody enjoys coming here.
Looks like East Carter County's sagging away off in a somewhat of a matchup zone.
Looked like a matchup zone, but I don't know if I've ever seen a sagging matchup zone. Foul underneath will send Drew Thornton to the line for 2.
Of course, it also kind of looked like a triangle in 2, perhaps, but I'm not quite sure exactly what the concept was.
I don't know which 2 they're trying, where the 2 are.
This is a good-looking sophomore on the line right here.
Misses his first. Kind of a sparse crowd, but it's 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, and people with real jobs are at work.
That's exactly right.
That's why we're here.
You hit the nail on the head again. Looks like they got a 1-2-1-1 trap going here.
And they're giving. That's going to give East Carter a lot of problems. Score's 8-0. We're a minute 15 into the game. Richland's already up 8-0.
And, you know, East Carter faced a very quick team yesterday in Hayti, and I don't think you get any quicker than that, but Richland looks really quick to the ball today.
Foul in the back court on Drew Thornton, his first, team first. I'll take that back. That was on McGarity. That's why I keep score with a pencil.
There's a good steal by number 32. Is that the other Thornton Mack?
Yes.
To Landon Miller. Oh, tough break.
Again, no bucket, a walk underneath. A little shuffle on Drew Thornton's part. Into Frazier, he'll go to the hole.
Number 23.
He'll get banged around, and he'll keep coming back.
He's cat quick, isn't he? Number 23 there for East Carter County.
23 and 20 for East Carter. That Frazier and Feller are both pretty quick, and they're. We don't have the heights listed in the program as to how big they are, but they. Let's say they're not big to be kind.
What's those red shoes with no socks? That doesn't make them look very much taller either.
Feller's coming into the game, replacing Zach Webb.
Looks like East Carter has as many coaches over there as they do players on the bench.
They got two reserves, and nice look at the basket by Thornton. Just couldn't get it to go.
It wasn't too many years ago. I can remember East Carter won a state title in the 2A.
They did.
Classification.
That was they made it to the championship. That's the year they made it to the championship game. And was it Kareem Rush or?
I believe you're right.
Kareem Rush was playing for Pembroke Hill. Pembroke Hill won the game, but they had to forfeit, and East Carter was declared the champion. I don't think he was the only ineligible player. I think the whole lineup was full of ineligible players from Pembroke Hill.
I think Myron Piggy had a lot to do with that.
I think Myron Piggy had a lot to do with that.
.5:28 left in the first quarter. 8-0. Richland on top. Maybe East Carter can take it down here, run something set, and get off the snide.
Richland didn't pressure that time, but they are trapping the ball in the corners.
You know, I'm really impressed with this Richland team. They're young and very athletic.
And they play hard.
They do. And I think that a lot of that goes to their coach, Casey Knight, who, again, learned that from one of the best in probably American, Lennis McFerrin.
He had been named National Coach of the Year. I think back around 2000, 2001.
Like a foul on number 30 for Richland.
That'd be his
second. Jeremy McGarity. But when you play aggressive defense, you have to expect to get some fouls.
That's right.
In the first game, Kennett was extremely active, and they had a lot more fouls than Greenville. But when you're pressing and trapping, that's the kind of situation you're going to get into.
And they won by 50.
That's exactly right. Extremely athletic move by number 22. I think that was the gentleman you were talking about earlier. Feller.
Feller's that's 22. He's not in the program.
Oh, that's double deuce.
That's double deuce. I hope his parents aren't watching. If you are, call in. And tell us his name.
Looks like East Carter's content to stay in that little zone / matchup and see what happens.
That's a 2-pointer by John McGarity, his first two of the game.
It's a nice move by number 33.
That would be Tracy Green scores his first two. The first two for East Carter makes it 10-2 game with about 4:10 left in the first quarter. John McGarity underneath and gives it up. Nice steal. And they can't hold it in.
One thing about looking at the Bloomfield court, it's very difficult to tell the out of bounds with these small lines on the sidelines.
Yes.
Looks like we have a timeout in the action. 30-second, Richland Rebels.
You're watching the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV.
With a former All-State basketball player and a current school board member, the law firm of Welch, Todd & Parker supports high school athletics. Our firm is involved in all areas of the law, and your first consultation is free. The firm is comprised of attorneys John Welch, Darren Todd, and Cameron Bunning Parker, along with 4 staff members ready to serve you. Welch, Todd & Parker is located at 100 West Main in Malden. Come by or call us at 573-276-2261 for any of your legal needs.
How are you doing today?
Doing great, wonderful.
Hello and welcome to What's Cooking in Our House.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Hometown Shorts.
Todd, welcome to the show.
Bill, thank you very much.
Year, or this game tournament, so I'm not.
single white female, enjoy shopping, long walks, and cuddling. Will you marry me?
Investing with someone you've never met doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones opens offices in our clients' neighborhoods, so you can get investment advice from someone you actually know. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Well, Darren, so far, don't think there's any surprise in this game. The 8th-seeded Richland Rebels are up 10-2 over East Carter. East Carter only has 7 players on the roster, and they've made a long bus trip, and their team is depleted. But they're playing hard. There's no lack of effort on their part. Richland is just the better team.
That's true. East Carter's come out, and it appears that they're playing a 1-3 zone with a matchup on the point guard, Mac Thornton. Now they're kind of sagging in.
Wayne Miller rolls it in.
Good-looking player. Doesn't look like he has any effects of that turned ankle from last night.
No. He scores his first 2. It's 12-2 lead.
Oh, there's a nice
and a
pass.
breakaway.
Good gather, and a way to gather yourself and just take your time and put it in the basket.
Yeah, that's one of those things. If you don't have a whole lot of experience and you get in that situation, you might get a little bit rattled and kick it out of bounds. But he gathered himself and laid it in. A little backdoor by Miller, and nice feed by Thornton.
Drew Thornton, like I said earlier, and I know I've talked about him a lot, he's a good-looking sophomore. He's a good-looking basketball player.
He sure is.
Of course, Richland's had a lot of success in the last few years, winning a couple state titles when they had the Coles and some people of that nature. These are two.
I go back to Harold Percival even back in the 60s.
Two tradition-laden programs that have, kind of been down a little bit in the past, but are starting to hopefully make a comeback.
Yeah, I think Richland's a little bit further on the trail. And there's a nice three-pointer with Mickey Latham. He scored 13 last night, had 2 or 3 three-pointers. He has 6 in this game.
That's a good-looking trio with those 3 sophomores.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing them for a while. Another good steal, nice putback by Mickey Latham.
Looks like we have a timeout from East Carter County.
Timeout with 2:22 to go in the first quarter. The scores, the Richland Rebels 19, East Carter Redbirds 4. You're watching the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV.
Well, everybody's got the same vehicles to sell. All we have to sell is service and reputation.
You seem to want to treat the customer the way you want to be treated.
They're going to be treated good. They're going to get good service. Going to get a good vehicle.
Taking care of the people after the sale. We feel like we're absolutely the best.
It's all a family, customers and the people who work here.
We have a good reputation with a lot of good people.
I only have Allen Christian and Dexter.
Come and experience how fun shopping can be in beautiful, historic downtown Dexter.
Visit or call Wallace & Owens Country Mart Bakery for all your special occasions. Steaks, chops, hams, and seafoods are just a few specialties you will find at Wallace & Owens Country Mart.
Morgan Furniture and Appliance has name brands such as Justice, Ashley, Cochran, Best Chair, Sealy, Whirlpool, and KitchenAid. That's Morgan Furniture and Appliance in downtown Dexter.
The Bunny Patch has formal wear for all occasions. Looking for prom, pageant, and bridal accessories, including shoes and jewelry? Shop the Bunny Patch, where you can also get tuxedo rentals.
A-Plus Medical Equipment of Dexter has the answers for you. Oxygen patients, are you unhappy with your service? There's no cost to switch, and generally, no doctor visit is required. Home delivery, friendly staff, and high-quality equipment is the A-Plus way. A-Plus delivers the best in customer service for Southeast Missouri. For all your care, we're always there. A-Plus Medical Equipment, located at 8 North Catalpa in Dexter. Call us toll-free at 888-624-0402.
got a few good games to look forward to tonight, but I think the last game of the evening is going to really be really going to pack. One, it's going to pack the crowd in. It's with Malden against Bernie. They're good rivals anyway, and they're both very good teams. Bernie comes in as the second seed and very deserving of the second seed. Malden, I think, was underseeded at 7. They probably should have been a higher seed, and I think it's going to be an excellent game.
I do too.
Foul in the back court on, looks like on Frazier. I think Malden was understated because everyone just assumed because they lost all their starters from last year's district champion team that they weren't going to be very good, but they reloaded real well.
And they also lost a very good player in Antonio Eddings, who's not playing this year, who was a junior last year, but they have reloaded, and they've been very impressive in their games.
They've reloaded. I mean, they've got players that you didn't even hear of last year that are good players and are playing real well. Nice long three-pointer by Latham. His second three of the.
I think
he has 11 for the first quarter.
There's a foul on Mac Thornton.
Be his first, team fourth.
And I think, like you said, the game tonight between Bernie and Malden will be at Donnybrook.
It will be. I believe, looking at the other games that are going to be played later, Hayti and Portageville. On paper, that shouldn't be a contest. Hayti should win that easily, but Portageville is Portageville.
That's true. And, of course, there's
nice
two
drive by Frazier to the bucket.
Two familiar faces on the Hayti sideline with Philip Taylor, the head coach, and Bart Chance, who's been at Wardell, North Pemiscott, and Holcomb the last few years, who's now the assistant over there at Hayti. And as far as athletes, you're not going to find a more athletic team than Hayti. That's an excellent move right there. Number 10, Mickey Latham, is quite a player. Inside and out.
He has 13 this quarter. The other games tonight, Puxico and Bloomfield should be a very good game. Bloomfield struggled yesterday, beating Van Buren. They were behind going into the fourth quarter, but then outscored Bloomfield outscored Van Buren 22-9 to win the game. And they were playing their best player and leading scorer Kyle Williamson was in foul trouble most of the game and was on the bench.
And much like Malden, I think the Van Buren squad was underrated. They came in here and beat Dexter earlier today, who's a very big school, a larger school, and they have some good talent.
I was impressed with some of their players.
It's a nice steal by 32. Mac Thornton taking it all the way to the basket.
Gives him 6 for the game. Other games tonight, South Pemiscott versus Donovan. Going to be two quick teams there.
You know, every year I think Donovan's going to be down, but as long as they have the Wilson twins, they're always going to be competitive, aren't they?
And, you know, the Wilson twins have been playing for, they've been starting since they're freshmen, so it seems like they've been playing 6 or 7 years. I think they're on the retirement plan in Donovan's school.
That's exactly right.
I think they've qualified for pension benefits. It seems like they've been playing for 6 years.
Well, they're much like their brother, who was a 3-time all-tournament performer here at Bloomfield, who went on to Three Rivers and had a very good career and followed it up with some other playing in some college areas.
Yeah, I believe, didn't he go to somewhere in Iowa or?
I believe that's correct.
Northern Iowa, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Nice two-pointer by Derek Miller. Makes it 26-8 as about 12 seconds left in the first quarter. Richland taking their time getting in their offense.
That was a nice catch right there.
No basket.
Waved off by the officials.
Laid off by the officials. Well, and that got the crowd riled up. Now the crowd's at least getting vocal.
26-8 here at the end of the first quarter.
Richland's ahead as expected. You're watching the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on.
What if sports were much more than just a game? And there was more at stake than just the score? What if it were possible to see the world impacted for Jesus Christ through the influence of athletes and coaches?
Hi, my name is Bill Ray. I'm the area representative for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in Southeast Missouri. If you'd like to see athletes and coaches striving to win, doing it God's way, call me at 280-0932 or go to fca.org and put in your zip code. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
Glenn St. Ford on Highway 49 North in Paragould is your Ford Mercury dealer. Glen St. and Paragould has great deals every day on all Ford and Mercury vehicles. We also have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles around. Glen St. and Paragould has an outstanding service department with some of the top technicians in the country. We're located on Highway 49 North in Paragould. Glen St. Ford, where our price and friendliness bring you here and our service bring you back.
YHC TV. Okay, we're back at the in the East Carter Richland game. Richland leads after the first quarter, 26-8. Richland's just too quick and too athletic, and just a better team than East Carter. East Carter's fighting hard.
There's no quitting these East Carter kids. Obviously, I think Coach Hoagland's doing a good job with what he has. Hopefully, he'll be able to. I don't know anything about their junior varsity or their junior high programs, but hopefully they have some reinforcements coming.
Well, they've got some good tradition to build on.
That's true,
and it hasn't been very long ago. They've had some really competitive teams in this tournament.
You know, when they had the Stoll kids and some kids of that nature, they were very competitive. I think one year they went up and were undefeated before Portageville took them out, but Portageville's taken out a lot of people in the sectional games.
Good rebound underneath. Good battle underneath by Thornton. Frazier, he will go to the basket.
That kid is fearless. That is one fearless individual right there.
He will throw himself all over the place.
Oh, foul on the other end of the basket counts for Drew Thornton.
Drew Thornton, that's his first bucket.
I think he was doing a little snowbirding.
I think he was snowbirding.
I think his coach is going to talk to him about that.
I think the coach is reminding him that play on both ends.
You know, Terry, it behooves me to mention that talking about this program while they're wiping up a wet spot, we'd have to thank the tournament director, Eric Bowles, who's done an excellent job here this entire week so far.
This tournament has always been well run, and this is Mr. Bowles' second year running this tournament, and he just kind of made a seamless transition from the previous director.
This is a major undertaking, that's for sure. There's a nice stop and pop by East Carter County.
There's Derek Miller scoring his fourth point.
Richland's kind of running a motion offense, trying to get some backdoor cuts and some people free. And there's Mickey Lathan. He might have got fouled on that shot, but no call.
Lathan pressuring the ball. They're going to have trouble getting it inside.
Look at the scrum. That is two hard-working teams right there. Looks like we've got
Look, we ought to take down. I think in wrestling that'd probably be a point.
Looks like there's a foul on.
A foul on Latham, I believe. And
number 30 for Richland into the game. That would be Jeremy McGarity. Going out, number 33, John McGarity.
And also coming in the game is Nick Harris, a 5'11 senior for the Richland Rebels. Frazier will go to the floor.
He likes to put that ball on the floor hard and take it to the rack.
He does.
Landon Miller has a clear opening. Nobody picks him up all the way to the basket. Nice left-handed layup.
I know it's always important to guard your man, but if nobody's guarding the guy with the ball and he's going to the bucket,
you need to get off of it.
You should be moving over just a little bit.
That's true. Looks like there's a turnover.
No foul.
A foul on the double deuce.
Double deuce.
He's got a foul.
That's his first foul. If he gets two fouls, he doesn't have any points. If he gets 2 fouls and 2 points, I think, as Mike Shannon would say, deuces are wild.
Okay, that sounds like a winner to me. Mac Thornton setting up the play. McGarity to Nick Harris. Nick Harris back to Thornton. Nick Harris They're really moving the ball well. Landon Miller with a little hook.
Little jump hook.
Rebound. Look at the scrum.
Landon Miller hustling, ties it up, possession arrow to East Carter. Richland's ahead 31-12. There's a little under 6 minutes left in the first half.
Looks like Richland's in a 1-3-1.
And they're going to trap in the corners.
Very aggressive defense for Richland.
And he just dribbles it out of bounds.
Causes the turnovers, exactly what Coach Knight wants. I've been watching Coach Knight. Looks like they have a different set play every time down the floor. I'm really impressed with their offense.
Well, what they can use these games for, they're not going to get pressed in this game. Just got to be honest about it. They're not going to get pressed. They can use this to work on things they need to work on their offenses, and to get tuned up for the next game, which is going to be against Van Buren. Van Buren will give them a test.
Van Buren has the big 6'4" kid inside and a pretty decent guard, and that's going to be a tough one, I think. See how Drew handles someone more his size.
Yeah, that Freeburg is he's an impressive player for Van Buren.
Ball out of bounds over to Richland.
He's got size and moves his feet well, and he's got good hands.
Number 20's in for East Carter.
That'd be Tyler Feller. He's another one, kind of like Frazier. He's small and he'll throw himself he'll throw his body around. Yesterday's game, he was getting sick on the sideline, but he hung in and kept coming back, and you could tell he was sick, but he kept coming back and working hard.
Nice move by 22, Drew Thornton on the other end as East Carter brings it up the floor.
Out to Feller.
Richland is swarming to the ball today. Nice rebound by Mac Thornton.
Mac Thornton takes it down. He'll bring it down the court. Over to Nick Harris and down to Langdon Miller, who you're not going to see that very much from Langdon Miller.
I think that might have slipped out of his hands, or he didn't. He was too wide open for his own good.
Yeah, he was waiting for somebody to come over and hit him.
He's going to come out. I think he's a little winded. Coach Knight's going to talk to him about that one. He's visibly upset, as we all would be. Oh, we got a timeout on the floor.
Timeout on the floor. That last foul is on Langdon Miller, his first 16 foul. You're watching the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV.
Imagine a future where one company could offer you cable, internet, and phone. Well, with New Wave, you get digital cable with DVR, HD TV, and an interactive guide. Unbelievable speed with high-speed internet. And now, even digital phone service, giving you unlimited calling coast to coast. All from one company. Welcome to the future. Call New Wave Communications now for great installation specials.
Come and experience how fun shopping can be in beautiful, historic downtown Dexter.
Visit or call Wallace & Owens Country Mart Bakery for all your special occasions. Steaks, chops, hams, and seafoods are just a few specialties you will find at Wallace & Owens Country Mart.
Morgan Furniture and Appliance has name brands such as Justice, Ashley, Cochran, Best Chair, Sealy, Whirlpool, and KitchenAid. That's Morgan Furniture and Appliance in downtown Dexter.
The Bunny Patch has formal wear for all occasions. Looking for prom, pageant, and bridal accessories, including shoes and jewelry? Shop the Bunny Patch, where you can also get tuxedo rentals.
Okay, there's a timeout on the floor with 4:11 to go in the first half. The 8-seeded Richland Rebels appear to be on their way to a pretty comfortable win. They're ahead 35-12 over the East Carter Redbirds. No surprises in this game. Richland is athletic. They're young, they're athletic, and they're good. East Carter is depleted.
You know, this is pretty indicative of these type games. 1-16, 2-15, and then when you get in the second round and you have 10 versus 15 like Kennett and Greenville, then you have games in which you have the 8-seeded Richland Rebels versus the 16-seeded East Carter County. These are the kind of games you're going to have. And as you said, it's a good opportunity for Richland to get some players in, stretch their bench a little bit.
Nice steal by McGarity. And they're going to have to stretch their bench. They're wanting to play, they're going to want to play 4 games in 4 days. And so they're going to have to stretch their bench. Nice little jump shot by Nick Harris.
He's a good-looking player for a senior.
Yes.
It's like they're in a 1-2-2. They're going to trap.
And
Drew Thornton does a good job of getting out there in the corners and trapping and putting pressure on the ball when it's in the corner.
He knocks it off of Frazier.
East Carter County is going to maintain possession. Now, right there, it's a good inside desire to get the ball inside, but what was 24 going to do with it?
Well, he was underneath the basket. He was too far underneath the basket. There's a carry by Harris.
It's like Bobby Knight says, sometimes you're open for a reason. Not indicating that gentleman can't score, but you have to know who your scorers are and where they can score from.
And he was too far underneath the basket, and the minute he got the ball, he had 3 people around him.
Just like 32 not paying attention as the ball goes sailing past his face.
I don't know. I don't know if he was checking his girlfriend in the stands or what.
I think he was calling out the play, and the point guard was trying to get him the ball. 32 out there reminds me, I believe, of another 32, and of course he could have been 23, but played for Bernie back in the day, and that was Anthony Bean.
Anthony Bean, one of the best guards ever played in this tournament. Nice little spin move. I'd tell you, another person he looks like is Willie Hassel, the great point guard of Portageville.
Willie Hassel was a 4-year starter, I believe. Is that correct for the varsity?
He was.
Outstanding performer. That's a nice rebound.
I don't know where he is now. He went to Mental area and had 2 good years there, but I don't know where Willie Hassel's playing now. He was as good a point guard as I've seen.
Nice cut by 14, Nick Harrison. A good lay-in. Richland is really working the backdoor cut to perfection here today. East Carter's going to have to slough off and really look for those cuts in order to cut that off in the second half.
Scores 39-12 in favor of Richland. Got a foul on number 20. Looks like the foul's on Feller. He was shoved off going after the ball. That'll be his second. Scores 39-12 in favor of Richland. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first half.
It's good to see Coach Knott hadn't quit coaching over there, giving Nick Harris instruction on the sideline.
Yeah, like I said, they can use this as an extended practice session with a little bit more intensity. Nice little floating jump shot by John McGarity, his 4th point of the game. They score 41-12.
And I'm not sure, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Richland might be a 1A team, which means they'll be in the district with Scott County Central.
That's nothing good to look forward to.
No. Of course, I could be mistaken. They might be in the actual district with Bell City.
Yeah.
Does that make it any better?
That doesn't make it much better. That's small school basketball in this area is strong.
It's premier in the state, I have to say.
When you've got Bell City and Scott Central, it just doesn't get much better than that.
My last understanding, Bell City was 1 in 1A, and I think at the time Bernie was 7 in 2A.
That's true. And Scott Central's also ranked. Because Scott Central's only loss, I believe, this year is to Bell City in the Oran tournament.
Got a timeout by Richland coach Casey Knight, 30 seconds.
Okay, you're watching the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV.
Three Rivers Community College is a great place.
A great place.
A great place to start college or career classes.
Three Rivers affordable tuition
means Pell Grants go further.
I can use A+.
I got a scholarship.
To learn more, go to trcc.edu or call 877-TRY-TRCC.
Get started at TRCC.
Getting back to our last subject, we're talking about the strength of small school basketball in southeast Missouri, and we watched teams from all over the state. realize that Jefferson has won the Class 1A or the last 2 years over Bell City. But I think as far as number of teams and number of good teams, you cannot beat Southeast Missouri basketball for small school basketball. We're not strong in the large schools, except for the 2 or 3 years that Poplar Bluff was, of course, the back-to-back state championships. But in the lower classifications, and again, Class 4, the last 2 years, a Southeast Missouri team has made the championship game in Class 4, and with Sykeston and Notre Dame, teams that play in the same district. So the strength of basketball in Southeast Missouri basketball, it doesn't get any better around the state than what we have here.
I agree with your comments totally. Looks like Richland's content to run a little offense here. Well, yep. Nick Harris is going to take it to the rack. Nice move by number 14.
He has 10 in this quarter. And all on right layups, all on nice cutting moves or backdoor plays.
45-12 with 30 seconds left in the second quarter.
Underneath, we get a foul. It looks like it's on Jeremy McGarity. That would be his third if it is. Nope. John McGarity. So the McGaritys both have 2. Did the 18th foul. Tracy Green will go to the line to shoot 2, and this is the first free throws shot by East Carter in this game. He makes the first.
Number 23 for Richland is coming in. That's Chad Tilley, a 5'10 senior. I think it's his first action today, and Landon Miller's back in, replacing the McGaritys. Jeremy and John.
A little short on the second free throw. Tracy Green makes 1 of 2. Mac Thornton brings the ball down the court.
Looks like they're running a little double stack with 2 men on the wing and 2 men on the block. Trying to move the ball off some screens here.
Move the ball off some screens. You kind of figure they'll be trying some back doors from the baseline.
Anytime you can get the ball to the high post and have your man turn and look, it's always a good for your offense. That's a nice move by Nick Harris.
Another nice dribble with Nick Harris, and he'll go to the line, be and 1 on that. He'll try to make the old-fashioned three-point play here with 1.5 seconds left in the half.
You know, Terry, Nick didn't start. He's a dynamite player coming off the bench. He reminds me a lot of Vinnie Johnson, who played for the Pistons when they had their runs, when they called him the instant offense off the bench. He's really performed well here in the first half.
He has scored 13 points in the second quarter. Hey, that's the end of the first half. It's a 35-point lead for the Richland Rebels. They're up 48-13 over the East Carter Redbirds. You're watching the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV.
How are you doing today?
Doing great, wonderful.
Hello, and welcome to What's Cooking in Our House.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Hometown Shorts.
Todd, welcome to the show.
Bill, thank you very much.
Year, or this game tournament, so I'm not.
With a former All-State basketball player and a current school board member, the law firm of Welch, Todd & Parker supports high school athletics. Our firm is involved in all areas of the law, and your first consultation is free. The firm is comprised of attorneys John Welch, Darren Todd, and Cameron Bunning Parker, along with 4 staff members ready to serve you. Welch, Todd & Parker is located at 100 West Main in Malden. Come by or call us at 573-276-2261 for any of your legal needs.
For the second half of the Richland East Carter game, to recap the scoring from the first half, leading the Richland Rebels is Nick Harris, who has 13 points. All of those points were scored in the second quarter. Mickey Latham has 11 points, had 2 threes. All his points were in the first quarter. With 6 points each were Landon Miller, Drew Thornton, and Mac Thornton, and with 4 points is John McGarity for Richland's 48. For East Carter, they're led by Dustin Frazier and Derek Miller, each with 4 points. Tracy Green has 3, including 1 for 2 from the line, and Zach Webb has 2 for the 13 points for East Carter. East Carter only went to the line 2 times, and they made 1. Richland didn't go very many more times. Looks like they went 5 times and made 4. So not a whole lot of free throw shooting. I imagine this second half will probably be pretty quick. It was mostly, wasn't a lot of long range shooting in that half. It was mostly layups, as Richland was able to do a lot of backdoor cutting and a lot of fast breaks, and their pressure was just too much for East Carter.
Come and experience how fun shopping can be in beautiful historic downtown Dexter. At Trinkets and Treasures, you will find a unique shop featuring charming antiques, gifts, and collectibles.
Customers come first at First Midwest Bank, located at 20 West Stoddard. Phone 624-3571. First Midwest Bank, chartered in 1963 and still locally owned and operated.
Whether redecorating or registering for your wedding, discover beautiful home decor at Decor.
Glensane Motors has 2 great locations, Rector, Arkansas and Kennett, Missouri. Glensane Motor in Rector has all makes, models of GMC Yukon, Sierra trucks, and Acadias. Glensane Motors in Kennett has Chevrolet, Cadillac, Pontiac, Buick, and GMC trucks. Glensane Motors located on Highway 49 North in Rector and 1607 Independence in Kennett. Glensane Motors, where friends bring you here and service brings you back.
A-Plus Medical Equipment of Dexter has the answers for you. Oxygen patients, are you unhappy with your service? There's no cost to switch, and generally, no doctor visit is required. Home delivery, friendly staff, and high-quality equipment is the A-Plus way. A-Plus delivers the best in customer service for Southeast Missouri. For all your care, we're always there. A-Plus Medical Equipment, located at 8 North Catalpa in Dexter. Call us toll-free at 888-624-0402.
You know, Terry, like we talked about in the pregame show, it would be interesting to see how Richland came out after taking a tough loss last night against a very good Portersville team. And it looks like they've come out and answered the bell very well here today. Been extremely crisp on offense, extremely effective with their half-court trapping, 1-3-1 or 1-2-2 zone, trapping in the corners. Handling the ball extremely well, very few turnovers. East Carter is just, as you said, as we've talked about, just outmanned here today.
Yeah, there's no surprise on this score. Richland's a good team on the rise. They're a good young team, and I think probably next year, they came in as an 8 seed this year. Next year, you're looking at their youth, they're going to be higher than that. They're going to be a force in the area.
Looks like we're still waiting on East Carter County to come out of the dressing room.
They have not come out of the dressing room. Here they come.
What if sports were much more than just a game? And there was more at stake than just the score? What if it were possible to see the world impacted for Jesus Christ through the influence of athletes and coaches?
Hi, my name is Bill Ray. I'm the area representative for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in Southeast Missouri. If you'd like to see athletes and coaches striving to win, doing it God's way, call me at 280-0932 or go to fca.org and put in your zip code. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
The absolute first thing is honesty is the best policy. Treat people how you want to be treated. People keep coming back to Allen Christian because they get a good, honest, fair deal, and the service is second to none. Just a family atmosphere with no pressure. We treat people right, and everybody seems to like it.
We try to take care of them the way we'd want to be taken care of, and our loyal customers know that. That's why they keep coming back, and we hope to continue that for a long time.
Come and experience how fun shopping can be in beautiful historic downtown Dexter.
If you're looking for floral, framing, and gift ideas, check out Weber's Ben Franklin. Also, Weber's Ben Franklin has cards for all occasions.
So we will have a second half.
We will. You know,
I didn't want you and I to be talking and waxing philosophically for another 16 minutes.
Well, you know, the one thing that we could say is at one point watching Richland play in the first half, they had 3 sophomores and 2 juniors out there at one time, which is always a good sign to see. Of course, they do have 2 good seniors in Nick Harris and Landon Miller. I think the key is going to be East Carter just coming out, running their offense, being patient, and doing what they can do. The key to getting back in a game like this is one trip at a time, one small step, and just being as fundamentally sound as possible.
And realistically, East Carter is probably not going to get back in this game. But one thing they can do, and we talked about what Richland can do about, working on things they need to work on as a team and running their offense and playing defense. East Carter can do the same thing. They can use the second half to improve themselves.
Right back inside to Drew Thornton with a shot up. Tough shot. Good rebound. There's Mickey Lathan.
A little short on that one. There's McGarity. He's short. 3 chances at the bucket and didn't get any to go, but
there's your guy, number 32, giving off to 23.
Frazier, he will drive.
He's a fire up.
Out, and they called him for the walk. A little drag of the feet when he ran into Latham.
The keys, he has to play under control. You have to be under control. Mac Thornton bringing the ball up the court for Richland. Obviously, they're going to do the stack, looking for Drew Thornton coming off a screen. Pop out. Nice shot.
And he knocks it down. Drew Thornton with his 8th point, first 2 of the second half. First 2 points of the second half. Little double dribble. What happened was Frazier was going to pass the ball to the wing. He saw the defender cutting in to make an interception. He tried to grab it back and just couldn't make contact. Just couldn't grab hold.
Kind of like a yo-yo.
I wish he had one of those Harlem Globetrotter balls with the rubber band that he could have just brought it back. But
nice 3 by Mickey Lathan there.
That's his 3rd of the game.
Nice steal. Lathan will bring the ball up the court.
Now Feller tried to get that in too much traffic.
Richland has a nice 3-guard set when they have Mac Thornton, the Lathan kid, and the Nick Harris out there together. I think that'd be an interesting combination.
I think it is, and they had that some in the second quarter. Although I think Nick Harris was in when Latham was out.
Terry, obviously there's going to be some games coming up tonight. I don't know. You've obviously seen a lot more than I have. You have any predictions of who's going to come out of the top of the bracket, or have you thought that far ahead yet?
I've thought about it, but I'd hate to make any predictions. If looking at it, you'd think Hayti was probably going to beat Portageville. Portageville's down this year. Their talent level isn't near what Haty's is, but Portageville also has Jim Gladwell on the bench, and he won an ugly game last night against Richland, and he's won a lot of those kind of games where he may not have the talent, but somehow finds a way to win. Puxico and Bloomfield.
That's an interesting game.
I think that's going to be a real interesting game. I think Bloomfield will probably play better tonight than they did yesterday.
Nice shot by number 30. That's Jeremy McGarity. He's a good-looking player.
But Bloomfield will probably have a better game because Kyle Williamson won't be if Kyle Williamson stays out of foul trouble.
Bloomfield Puxico's played earlier in the year. It's my understanding that Bloomfield beat Puxico on a half-court 3-point buzzer beater to secure that victory. So it should be a tight game here tonight. I think
and they match up well. About the same size, same type of kid.
And I think the Donovan-South Pimscott game will be a good matchup. And I think as we've talked about, the track meet, stealing a phrase from Dave Green, the track meet between Bernie and Malden should be a very interesting game.
I think it should be a real interesting game. I think Bernie will probably want to play it a little bit more under control because Malden's going to go up tempo no matter what. I think Bernie can, if they can control the tempo, will probably have a real good shot. I think Bernie has a real good shot of winning this tournament. They come in as the 2nd seed, and they're a legitimate 2nd seed, and I think they've got a real good chance to win this tournament.
Looks like East Carter's trying to stretch the defense, put a little bit more pressure on, but when you got good ball handlers like Richland, it's tough to do that.
Yeah, East Carter's playing a man-to-man now, trying to put some pressure on, but that's going to set them up for those back doors like that. McGarity goes in. He'll shoot 2. He's fouled by, looks like, Frazier.
I don't believe Coach Knight sit down the entire game.
No, he's coaching all the way.
Looks like East Carter County's going to bring in the double deuce, and I believe number 30.
Dustin Nichols.
After these free throws.
Foul is on Frazier, his 3rd, first team foul in the second half. He already misses his first shot. He'll have the second It's 40-point lead for Richland right now. It's 55-15 with 4:46 left in the third quarter. Anticipate that the mercy rule will be in effect in the fourth quarter, and the mercy rule is any team that's ahead by 30 points in the fourth quarter, then the clock will run continuously with no stoppages except for timeouts.
Frazier brings the ball up the court for the East Carter County. He's going to the hole.
He
That
goes
kid,
to the hole.
he's fearless. There's 24. Feller. No, I'm sorry. That's 24. That's not Feller.
That's Miller. He scores his 6 points with the putback.
Little hand checking out there.
Thornton gets poked away.
It's nice little ball handling there by the big man. Tough pass by Landon Miller.
Little scrum for the ball. Let's see.
So we got a jump.
Possession arrow to Richland.
With a former All-State basketball player and a current school board member, the law firm of Welch, Todd & Parker supports high school athletics. Our firm is involved in all areas of the law, and your first consultation is free. The firm is comprised of attorneys John Welch, Darren Todd, and Cameron Bunning Parker, along with 4 staff members ready to serve you. Welch, Todd & Parker is located at 100 West Main in Malden. Come by or call us at 573-276-2261 for any of your legal needs.
How are you doing today?
Doing great, wonderful.
Hello, and welcome to What's Cooking in Our House.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Hometown Shorts.
Todd, welcome to the show.
Bill, thank you very much.
Year, so or this game tournament, so I'm not.
Or East Carter, I'm sorry.
Richland's back in the 1-3-1. That appears to be their primary defense is a 1-3-1, sometimes coming out in
Frazier goes
trap.
to the hole. Just can't get it to fall.
That's a hard-nosed.
Down by McGarity. Mac Thornton brings it down. Looks like, again, they're in the double stack offense. It's going to bring out some motion to the high post.
One thing about Richland today, they're not forcing the action. They're waiting to get something out of their offense, and if they're patient, they know they're going to get some kind of good shot, either a backdoor cut or an open three.
And that's what that's where coaching comes in. They're going to win the game, and the players are starting out there trying to get numbers and trying to jack up any three-pointers and try to jack up shots. They're playing their offense. They're practicing their offense. They're working on their offense.
Because when you start playing teams that are equal to your competition, if you run your offense effectively, that's how you're going to score, not by just out-athleticizing somebody, as I like to say.
Again, Frazier goes to the hole, comes up empty again. But again, a lot of the running of an offense to have a good understanding of the offense and to run the offense, is repetition, and that's what they're doing. They're running their offense the way it should be run instead of having a ragtag game.
Tough spill on the sideline over there.
Looks like somebody is down. Everybody's up and patting each other. Everybody's good.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, have you disinfected the area? Good. Now make a 3-inch incision between the 4th and 5th abdominal muscles.
Shouldn't you be doing this?
It's really straightforward. Listen, I gotta go, Bob. I'll talk to you later.
Making important financial decisions on your own doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones prefers meeting clients face-to-face. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Three Rivers Community College is a great place.
A great place. A great place to start career training.
At TRCC, I'm getting training for a good job with a good salary.
Three Rivers has high-tech equipment, great instructors,
and convenient classes. To learn more, go to trcc.edu or call 877-TRY-TRCC.
Get started at TRCC.
Looked like Richland ball out of bounds.
55-17 Richland lead with 2:30 to go in the third quarter underneath.
Mac Thornton with excellent position, just strength and getting his body real spread wide and taking that bounce pass. Good look by Landon Miller.
And as you said, Drew Thornton, he was down, he was spread. There's no way that he was not going to get a good shot.
So now steal by McGarity, giving it up to Mac Thornton. He's taking it to the rack. And the foul.
Hard by number 24, Derek Miller.
Be 2 shots as they're lining up. Looks like Nick Harris is coming back into the ball game. First time in the second half. And number 23, perhaps, Chad Tilley will be back in the game.
I believe that's Chad. Has he been? He has been in the game shortly.
Briefly in the first half.
He briefly played last night.
Looks like Richlands goes about 8 deep.
Yeah, it looks like they play about. They got an 8-man rotation. He's going to get some more people in here in the fourth quarter, I'm sure.
I'm sure there'll be some guys over on the bench that'll get some playing time.
Mac Thornton gets 1 out of 2 balls out of bounds off of Richland over to East Carter. Frazier will bring the ball up the court.
Looks like Richland's falling back to a 2-3 zone now. Looks like Richland, I'm surprised by that. I thought they'd be more of a man-to-man team coming from the Lennis McFerrin mentored Casey Knight, but you have to play what your personnel is best at, and he feels that zones are where it's at for him.
Nice move underneath by Derek Miller. He scores his 8th point of the game. He's the leading scorer for East Carter. Mickey Latham leads Richland with 14 points.
There's Chad Tilley off the bench with a big.
Chad Tilley with a big 3. I watched him warming up, and he was shooting some threes, and obviously he can make them.
Tough shot underneath, rebound.
And just
you have to be
many people around him.
You have to be physically tough and do some pump fakes down there with those big guys. Landon Miller thought about the long 3, but gives it up to Tilley.
Underneath the McGarity. McGarity kicks it back
out.
Not
going to pass it up this time. The front of the rim. Oh.
There's a good takedown by Drew Thornton. He commits the foul. Only the second team foul. His first of the game, and only the second team foul on. Both teams have 2 fouls.
Apparently, no one's going to help him get the ball in. There he goes. I think Mr. Thornton might be on his way to his 2nd consecutive all-tournament team selections. What do you think?
I think that's a good guess. Frazier gets a jump shot off at the free throw line. He doesn't take it all the way to the basket and get knocked around by 5 people.
And I think Drew would be the first to tell you that the only way he could be on that all-tournament team is having good teammates to get him the ball around him. With Landon Miller, Mac Thornton, Nick Harris, Mickey Latham, that makes it a lot easier for him to get his points inside.
But he's the one that has to finish it.
Looks like Haytow's arrived for the next game. Saw Portersville coming in earlier, about halftime of the game we're currently watching.
Tracy Green scores that'll be his 5th point. 40-point lead for Richland. And that's where it's been most of the second half.
Looks like East Carter's in the man-to-man. Drew Thornton with good position and a nice little hook shot.
Nice little jump hook, just didn't go. But he used his feet well. And
East Carter not aware of how much time was left on the clock into the 3rd quarter.
In the 3rd quarter, the score is Richland 61, East Carter 21. You're watching the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament on YHC TV.
She turned around and left the cave, and I'm standing there by the pool of water alone, and it just brought up a whole bunch of issues that...
W tym piórze nie ma atramentu.
What?
I wtedy możemy zacząć dopiero pracować.
Using a broker you can't understand doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones speaks in the language you can understand. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. For the Edward Jones office nearest you, call 1-800-ED-JONES or visit edwardjones.com.
Okay, we're back at the Bloomfield Christmas Tournament, 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament. We're getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter in the game between the Richland Rebels and the East Carter Redbirds. Richland leads the game 61-21. The mercy rule will be in effect during the fourth quarter as long as Richland maintains its 30-point lead. I would imagine that Richland will clear the bench and get some more people in, and they're doing just that as Dylan Desjardins.
That will be your name for the rest of the quarter.
Sounds like good pronunciation to me. Spelled just like it sounds. A 5'11 junior gets in the game. Everybody else is pretty much staying with the starters, except also Chad Tilley is still in the game. Mickey Latham drives and is fouled. Looks like the foul is going to be on Derek Miller. No, Tracy Green. That will be his third foul. Team's third foul, but Latham will go to the line for two.
Nice stroke by number 10 there, Mickey Latham.
That gives him 15 for the game. He's the leading scorer. And that bounces off and off to the side. But nice stroke, nice soft touch. It gives the ball a chance. If it's not dead on, it gives the ball a chance to go in. Three-pointer, just a little bit outside. Harris out front to Tilley. Tilley gathers that, doesn't gather it.
Couldn't quite bring that one in.
Nope.
Kind of like a wide receiver pass with there. You know, Terry, as we're sitting here thinking about these upcoming four semifinal, or I guess games they're going to be played, I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see who can set the tempo for the games because of the differing flow that each team has.
I think you're exactly right. We've alluded to the Bernie Malden game. I think tempo is going to play a big role in that. Nice jump shot by Derek Miller. That's his. He's in double figures with 10.
You know, I think the South Pembescott Donovan game is also going to be a contrast of styles, obviously, with the Wilson twins kind of doing the inside-out game with South Pembescott, of course, having Mauricio Clay back, wanting to get the ball up and down the floor with a new coach this year. It'll be interesting to see who can put their will to the test and get it done most effectively.
Yeah, they're both. One thing that those teams do have some similarities on is that they are both very quick team. That foul was on Dustin Nichols, his second 14 foul. Desjardins with a high arcing free throw scores his first.
Good to see he getting the book here today.
That's right. We get McGarity back in the game. Desjardins, let's see if he's going to bring rain with this one. Yes. Little short. And a foul. Looks like they called the foul on Harris coming over the back. His first foul. 14 foul.
Looks like each team's been whistled for 14 fouls here in the second half. It's been a pretty fluid game. It's been rolling along pretty nicely here in the second half.
Yeah, and one of the problems you see in these blowout games, and you're always afraid of, is that sometimes they get a little bit too ragged, too ragtag, and too physical, and which of course has the danger of somebody getting injured. But that's not the case here. Neither team has gotten chippy, and they're both playing clean, both playing hard. Underneath, Desjardins cannot handle it.
4:27 left of the fourth quarter. 63-23. Richland Rebels on top of the East Carter County Redbirds. Here in game 12.
This is game 12 of the tournament. They'll play 26, I believe.
Everybody wants to be in that final night.
Yeah, you want to get 4 games in.
And I think the consolation, I think the 5th place, the 3rd place, and the finals will all be quality games against well-matched opponents.
They usually are. Well, you got some good teams.
Mickey Latham with kind of a Dwayne Wade-esque move there. Chad Tilley's not afraid to shoot it. That's a nice-looking release.
He's got a good set shot. Yeah, Latham that was almost an Earl Monroe move, if I want to show my age.
We're kind of like the contrasting generation team here tonight.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade or Earl Monroe.
That's exactly right. Well, one thing that's interesting about this is we're ahead of schedule. It's 5 till 3, and this game's almost over. I think the next game's not supposed to start until 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, so there's going to be a little bit of downtime. And I think they worked that into the schedule today.
I believe they gave 2 games, 2 hours between games instead of
no foul.
A little chippiness there.
Well, we get a little chip there. Just when I talked about them not doing it, they turn around and do it. Did they call him with the technical?
Yeah, they got 42 with the technical. Looked like they were down there 50 kind of late, or 30 late on him, and then he got up and took a little swipe. Nothing too serious. Now we're trying to line up for the.
Okay, so the technical was on number 30, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was on number 30. Latham will be the line to shoot the 2. Yeah, I think what happened was Dejanay and Nichols got into it a little bit on the floor, and as Nichols was getting up, he made a little shove down.
I'm so used to the second party being the one that's caught that I was shocked by that.
Yeah, it was the second guy. The last guy to hit is the one that gets the foul. There's 2 minutes left in the contest. It's a 64-25 lead for Richland.
Looks like
back in the game.
Number 11, Ben Griffin's in the game for the first time for the Richland Rebels.
First action. I think he's wanting the ball. He wants
to get his name in the book.
He wants to be in the box score.
There he goes. He's got it.
No, see now.
I probably would have shot it if that was been me.
I'm telling you, and I'm telling you from somebody who knows. If you're sitting on the bench all game, and you sit on the bench for the entire games, and you get in the game, you're not looking to pass the ball.
That's true.
You're wanting the jacket. That's the rules of a bench warmer. Is when you get the chance, you want to put it up.
Griffin needs to get in position. Go to the ball, young man. Mac Thornton gets it to McGarity. Give it to him.
Dish it out to him. Dish it out.
Oh, McGarity got a little hold. With a minute left, I don't know if we'll get the.
Well, he may not. I don't think Griffin's going to get the shot off.
It'll be close. 64-25 with 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter of Game 12 between the Richland Rebels and the East Carter County Redbirds.
Now Griffin's all alone on the wing. He's got a chance, but they're not going to get it to him.
Tilly will shoot
another good shot. Tilly's got a good-looking shot.
He does. He just gets a little bit more arch on that thing. He's got a good release and good form follow-through. Richland's got a good-looking team. Again, I think they might have trouble with their district being either in the – oh, nice move by
Frazier.
That's your man.
That's my man.
Up and in.
Goes to the bucket and one. So he's going to end this game on the free throw line. He's got 8 points. He's going to try to get 9. And I think the game will end while he's on the line.
You know, this will be a new he's going to shoot one.
And rolls it in.
Every bit of the rim.
Every bit. And that ought to do it.
Mac Thornton wants to get one more three-quarter court shot off the back iron.
Shot. And that's how the game ends, with the Richland Rebels defeating the East Carter Redbirds 64-28.
I think both teams got a lot of positives from this game. Obviously, as you said, use it as a kind of an opportunity.
Glen St. Motors has 2 great locations, Rector, Arkansas and Kennett, Missouri. Glen St. Motor in Rector has all makes, models of GMC Yukon, Sierra trucks, and Acadias. Glen St. Motors in Kennett has Chevrolet, Cadillac, Pontiac, Buick, and GMC trucks. Glen St. Motors located on Highway 49 North in Rector and 1607 Independence in Kennett. Glen St. Motors, where friends bring you here and service brings you back.
Okay, to wrap up the Game 12 of the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament, Richland Rebels were easy victors over the East Carter Redbirds 64-48. For the East Carter Redbirds, they were led in scoring by Derek Miller with 12 points. Dustin Frazier, the point guard who sacrifices his body every time down the court, ends up with 9 points. Zach Webb with 2, Tracy Green with 5. They scored a total of 28 points. For the Richland Rebels, they were led in scoring by point guard Mickey Latham, who had 16 points. Most of those were in the first quarter. He had 3 3-pointers. Nick Harris had 13 points, all of them in the second quarter. 10 points by Drew Thornton, their fine inside sophomore post player. 7 points by Mac Thornton, a good sophomore guard. 6 points by Langdon Miller. 3 points Chad Tilley, 2 by Jeremy McGarity, and Dylan Desjardins wraps up the scoring with 1 point for a total of 64. What were your thoughts on the game, Darren?
Well, Terry, as we talked about again at the first half and at the halftime, I think it was a game in which Richland came out and really forced their will against East Carter after playing the last game of the night. Last night, suffering a tough loss against a very good Portersville team, coming out and really running their offense and playing some good defense. It was good to see Richland get back on the winning ways. I think they're a very good young ball club that's going to do some damage next year in this tournament. For East Carter County, at this time they're just outmanned. They very hard performing team. A lot of good scrappy players. The Frazier kid, the Miller kid, as you talked about. They just didn't have enough horses to go today against a very good Richland Rebel squad.
Richland will play tomorrow. They're going to have their hands full tomorrow in what should be a very good game. Richland plays Van Buren tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. As we said, Van Buren earlier in the day was the victor over the 5th-seeded Dexter Bearcats. So got a very good matchup tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock between Richland and Van Buren. And we'll leave it here from the 51st Bloomfield Christmas Tournament.
Coaches Interviews brought to you by Charlie Flanagan, Edward Jones Financial Advisor in Dexter, 573-624-3528.
Here with Richland coach Casey Knight. Just finished on a big win. Casey, congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you think about that game?
It was a good game for us to come and bounce back from a tough loss last night for Portersville. We knew it was going to be tough to beat them twice, and we felt like we should. We're deserving of being on the right side of the bracket. And we've been here last year, and ended up winning 3 in a row to win the consolation. But we're going to make the most of it, and we're trying to get on that winning streak and get in that championship consolation game.
And you did that last year,
yes,
and also made a nice run in the county tournament. You seem to have pretty good luck at Bloomfield tournaments. Well, good, and that is, it becomes a little bit of a second home because you can end up playing several games here.
Definitely. Yeah, last year we ended up playing 9 or 10 games here, so get comfortable with it.
That's a good thing.
It's a hard environment to play in if you're not used to it.
The kids did what you needed them to today. A little bit of a lopsided win, and I'm sure those are as hard to coach in a tournament because you're needing them to do some things because tomorrow's not easy all of a sudden.
Well, that's what I told them. I said, don't get greedy. Everybody always wanting to get a piece of the pie instead of let's work on being patient.
Right.
Limited in the things that we can limit. And cause we hurt ourselves a lot. And I think we beat ourselves with things that we can control.
Right.
So we tried in there to work on it, and plus getting everybody in the game and get some playing time.
Probably come in for some shoot around in the morning and
definitely come in. Van Buren, good team. So we definitely have to prepare for those.
We've got an issue. Hang on. We're supposed to wait on you. Coach, what have you got planned for them tomorrow? Are you going to come in and shoot around, get a little practice going, I guess?
We are going to come in and shoot around. We know we got Van Buren tomorrow. They're a tough team. They're very close to moving on that right side of the bracket, and they beat Dexter this morning. So we know we've got our work cut out front for us. And, we haven't proven anything really today. Today was a good bounce back day.
It was.
But tomorrow will be a test, and it'll be a good game.
It'll be a good test for you because those guys scramble. They're going to keep coming and get that lead on them. So what? Because they're right back in your stuff.
Yeah, they're very scrappy. You come out, you give them the first punch, and they're going to punch right back.
Right.
So they're not going to let down.
That and their big kid, Drew's going to have his hands full. I've been very impressed with their inside. I can't think of his name right now. Number 33's had a good tournament.
No, definitely. They've been pounding into him. real good. He's been doing a good job. And Drew, we've been working on him. You know, he's still young. He has a tendency to react and to get caught behind instead of anticipating that.
Right.
And you know, and he'll lunge out and stuff. So he's going to have his hands full.
Right.
Definitely, it'll be a good matchup though.
Good game tomorrow for you. What time tomorrow? Is it Casey?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. That's
First game tomorrow.
a good way to start the day with Van Buren. Van Buren's had like you said, they too are probably in the same shoes you are, could easily be on the right side of that bracket. They're going to come ready to get there.
They're going to come ready, and we know they're scrappy and they get after it. And it's going to be a dogfight, and we got to get prepared mentally and physically for it. So it's a long week, and 2 weeks ago we played 4 games.
Right.
In the Clarkin Holiday Tournament, so we're used to it in a way. But you can never really be prepared for it, but we are in a certain aspect.
Well, good luck to you tomorrow, Casey.
Thank you. Appreciate
Look forward to seeing you.
Coaches Interviews brought to you by Charlie Flanagan, Edward Jones Financial Advisor in Dexter, 573-624-3528.